Hey everybody, I'm Empathy, and in this devlog, I made new minigames for my open world game, Vitality. Minigames are a common feature in open world games as something for the player to do in the world. In this devlog, I made some for Vitality. When it comes to minigames, the most common kind of minigames are fishing minigames, with them existing in games like Stardew Valley, Link's Awakening, and Sonic. Wait, Sonic? Okay, apparently Sonic has a fishing minigame. Anyways, with all these examples of fishing minigames, I knew that I had to have one in Vitality. This minigame is going to take place here. This is the fishing hut, which is in the Deadlands, the area of dead grass and trees around the Plains dungeon. The fishing hut is next to this large lake, which is where the fishing will take place. As you walk into the fishing hut, you can look around to see these photos of the fisherman with fish and the man behind the counter. When you talk to him, the man says that sadly, fishing's not available right now, because the lake is all grey and the fish are all skeletal. This is to let the player know that they have to clear out the Plains dungeon first, getting rid of the Deadlands. If the player then goes outside and talks to the man at the counter's brother, he'll tell you something like, "Oh man, the fish keep biting me, not the rod, that is. I hope these Deadlands are over soon so that we can properly fish again." If you clear out the Plains dungeon, curing the Deadlands, the dialogue of both brothers will change. The brother outside will let you know to head back inside to start fishing, and the brother outside will let you know that he can get you started with fishing. He'll also let you know that it costs 15 coins to fish. Upon paying his fee, you get handed a fishing rod and ushered out onto this pier, where the other fishing brother is. You can talk to the brother if you need help with fishing, or start fishing by yourself if you know how to do it already. Either way, it'll start you into the fishing minigame. Here is the fishing scene, with the water in the background and some random rocks placed around. Additionally, there are also these ripples. These ripples will be the fish you're aiming for in the minigame. The controls for this minigame are based on two different Mario Party minigames. Firstly, to cast your line, I took inspiration from Mario Party's Chip Shot Challenge. The first input is for the direction of the fishing rod, which in the Mario Party minigame you can choose freely. However, in Vitality's fishing minigame, the arrow for direction swings from left to right, so that there's a bit more skill required to make the direction work. How far you're casting the line, or shooting the golf ball in Mario Party, is determined by this arrow. However, like the last part of the game, I'm making the arrow alternate between small and large to add further challenge. Once you cast your line, a bobber will appear where you cast it. If any fish is close to the bobber, it will try to swim towards it. You can then reel in the bobber, and this is where the second Mario Party minigame inspiration comes from, the minigame Snow World. In this minigame, you have to press the face buttons in clockwise order to rotate your snowboard. Similarly, by pressing the movement inputs, WASD or the left stick on controller, in clockwise order, you can reel the bobber in. If the bobber is reeled in too quickly, the fish will get disturbed by the bobber and quickly swim away. However, if you reel it in all the way without a fish biting, you can cast the rod out again. Once a fish bites your bobber, you can tell by this tug on it. After this, you'll have to quickly reel in the fish before it tugs away from your line. If it does swim away, you'll be unable to cast your line again and have to go back to the hut to pay for another fishing rod. If you manage to reel in a fish properly, it'll then transition to this windscreen, showing how big your fish is and how much money you make for it. The size value dictates how much the fish will struggle against you as you reel it in, and how much money you'll make from the fish. There will also be a fish displayed on the wall of the fishing hut, displaying the size of the largest fish you've ever caught. The fishing minigame is one of two minigames I made for Vitality since last devlog, with the other being found at the farm up here. The farm is the main food supplier of Talmor, which is the town found in the south. However, the farm is up north. This means that the food has to be taken from the farm up north, through the Deadlands to Talmor in the south. This is where the minigame comes in. You are going to help a shipment of food from the farm to Talmor in this farming wagon. As the wagon drives from the farmhouse to Talmor, various enemies will attack you like goblins and ogres. The versions that will attack you are new variations of the enemies, which are mounts. Goblin mounts are these goblins who ride pigs, whereas the ogre mounts ride cows. So, how do you fight back against these enemies? You'll have this orange reticle, which is where you shoot fireballs from. This is greatly inspired by the quest in Majora's Mask, where you sit in the back of a farming wagon and fight the Gorman brothers with your bow, while making a milk delivery. When you get down to Talmor, you're rewarded with the ability to fast travel from Talmor to the farm and vice versa. Another thing I made since last devlog were some new enemies. Here we've got 4 golems, which come in each of the 4 elements in my game: fire, earth, water, and nature. These golems are only able to be damaged by the crystal in place of their head, which is to foreshadow the Grand Bumbleaf, the boss of the Plains area, who is a bumbleaf, another type of enemy in my game, on this body made out of leaves. The golems then foreshadow the way you have to hit the Grand Bumbleaf with the crystal on them. Additionally, when you kill the golems, they burst into these particles, which makes them feel much more polished, and like they actually died instead of just disappearing. That's all for this devlog, so make sure you check out Vitality in the description below if you want to play it for yourself. Next devlog, I'm going to work on the quests of Vitality and try to make the full list of quests in the Plains area. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. See ya!